All right, here we are. Let's see. First time on YouTube. Do, do, do. All right. Let's see who shows up. We're going to give everyone a few minutes, and here we go. Hey, someone's in chat. How's it going? Just here to do a little recap of things before Blade Show. Oh, no, someone's gone. Hey, what's up, man? Thunder. Oh, man. I'm just trying to see who's showing up in the chat. You're the first one in here so far, unless I'm missing things. It's our first time on YouTube, so we are just trying to get things rolling. Brought a few things out that are going to be either available right now on the website or some new stuff that is going to be going to Blade Show, but it's less than a month away, so we're getting ready for this. Oh, welcome, man. You are literally the first person to do this on YouTube. So if you have questions about any products currently, you're welcome to jump in there because it is going to be a little quiet, I think. But welcome. If you want to see things, I'm just going to wait till we get out. We're getting more people. Hooray. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, man. Normally, the YouTube ones fill up pretty quick because the system, but we have not done one on YouTube, and I have not done one on YouTube. So I hope the sound's doing okay. I tried to do a new first-time setup. Large Bowie Pyrite? Yes. I'm shooting for yes. I have been telling the boss, yes, please. And if we can, I'd really love to see this guy get the large treatment. I'm really hoping that we can get these out by sometime either before the end of the year, but I'm hoping to see these ones get the large treatment. They really deserve it. Of all these ones, this turned out to be such a great knife. And honestly, like this mirrored image, the rose gold one, let's get some focus. Yeah, this one was wild. I had no idea this was going to be so big, but it's an also, if you like the Bowie Pyrite, might as well talk about exclusives since you're in here. Got some full tie ones on the website. S90 tie. I love the texturing on here. We did that nice little pebble like a golf club style texture. These just popped up on the website. This is probably what I've been carrying for the last about week or so since I got the original one, and I am very happy with this. Probably because it's nice and trim. Weight is fantastic on this, and I'm just like, hey, can we do this on like everything? It's so good. And if you did see, I believe Knife Center and Blaze Hue already had their special editions. Knife Center did the let's see, where is it? They did the their micarta version of this guy. This one is the wood one, so the ebony and steel. So it's got a lot more weight to it, honestly. But I really got to get my hands on one of the micarta and tie ones, because I am so stoked about all the Knife Center ones. They've been so good to us, and honestly, it's been really nice working with them over the last like several years. And always, again, like I love chatting with David. Guy's real busy right now with the whole like starting his own business and also, you know, having a family. But he's always pitched some really great ideas for collaborations, and I'm just like, hey, whatever works, we got it. Like, done, easy, no problem. If next time they're like, hey, we want to do like full fat carbon magnet cut, it's like, sure, we'll give it our best shot. But if you haven't seen all the versions of the Bowie Pyrite, I did bring all of them. So because y'all, you're the only one here, why not? Full steel. Our first time doing a black tumbled finish, which seems kind of funny considering that everyone does it. Come on, camera focus. Everyone kind of does a black tumbled one. We did like a tumble on this guy. Like it is, there's a lot of material on this one that got very much like, it's got, I wish the camera could pick it up, but it's got a really like rough finish on it. I kind of like it. It's got a nice rugged feel to it. I can get those all in my fingers. And then of course the rose gold, or great rose gold, wherever I put it. There it is. Yeah, the rose gold one. So many pyrites and many more in the works. Also, let's see, for the new pyrites, I got one more. I need a little side table. But I know everyone's a little tired of these guys, but the alts are still going. But we did a full copper one, which not everyone's cup of tea. But the thing I didn't expect is I thought we were going to do an RPM 9 blade on these. This one's 20 CV, which I'm kind of surprised. I don't know where we got the 20 CV. That normally 20 CV goes in some of the higher end lines we do. So we did run the Arians in 20 CV, some of the Laconico designs, but this one just popped up in 20 CV. And originally we were kicking around the idea of doing CPM 154 just because we had access to it. And I think maybe we just opted to get 20 CV instead. So this is a real slick piece. Also because the weight of this is so nice. Like it's just a chunk of copper. So these are brand new on the website. So they are available right now. And I have not checked the new price. I originally heard that when we had these in a, like it's in its original format, this was going to be about 110, 120 with the 154. But I don't know what the 20 CV version is. But if it's the same price we had planned for the 154, that is wild. And I am honestly, I'm just like, I am digging this. When this one goes to Blade Show, I'm going to try to keep like a few out and see what like the Blade Show patina that develops after everyone grabs it and holds it. By the end of the show, every copper knife has got its own little bit of color to it. So I usually put those up for like, I'll bring those to like Blade West and put a little tag out saying the Blade Show special. Everyone's patina. Let's see what else we got going on that's new. We do have a new version of the Waden. So the design by Nick Rogers, but this one we did in the gold flake carbon fiber with that nice little tie Damascus shield. Man, dude, you're getting like a personal, like a whole personal thing right now. This is kind of cool. It's like you're back. It's like you're back at like Blade Show. It's like my storefront days. Oh, this one's super snappy. These ones sold out so fast. We had our original run of these and they were just gone. I think I saw a few of the videos on this one. Man, this one's real shiny too, so it's really not showing up well. But we had so many videos on this one, and it's such an interesting design because it really has that whole kind of like it's got I can't say a traditional knife because there's nothing traditional about this, but there's something about this that's very like I don't know. It's like a sci-fi knife for an old Western. I love that shape. I also like what Nick did with the backspacer here. So see how that kind of sticks up a little bit? Has that just a little bit of a extra bit of chamfering right there. And just it's a very classy piece, but with the carbon fiber instead of the full tie, this cuts the weight down significantly. And I'm actually really impressed by how this feels in hand. If you're a front flipper fan, you got that little S-shaped flipper right there. See, there's that little tiny curve right there. Boom. Yeah, the little tiny curve. And I kind of am debating maybe if we end up doing another version in the future where we have maybe some studs or a hole in this guy, because I feel that would be a real easy deployment. But the front flipper on this is real snappy. Yeah, no, it's a nice one. But hey, man, you got any questions? Anything particular? Because it's just, this is it. These are all the people in here. Unfortunately, I'm trying to find like, hey, how many people are in the chat? Let's see. Is there any way to see that? Who's in the chat? Yeah, just you, man. Dude, if you got any questions, drop them because I am happy to answer them. I'm just here like playing with knives. And normally, again, with the Instagram lives, it's pretty chill. It's usually maybe like 40, 50 people. But the switch to YouTube is gonna be a hard transition. I'll tell you that. But let's see, what else I got? Let's see. If you have seen the Prados, these ones have been a big hit. I'm actually really surprised because they some people love them. Let's see. What am I carrying? Okay, hold up. All right, I have a Proto. It's an odd one. Actually, it's not. It's actually a very normal one, but I have this guy. Left side carry because I'm carrying my back pocket, but this is actually the new version of the Hectare. I do not think we have these for release just yet, but we swapped the original drop point blade to a Wharncliffe because everyone wanted a slightly different blade. The original version had that hole, which was fine. I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it worked, but the studs really work nicely on this one. So this is still a proto. We're working on these right now, and they'll be moving over to, I think we're probably going to get these in production relatively soon. This one has micarta. I don't know if we're going to be doing that. We might just be sticking with the G10, but I'm really stoked about this one because of everything. This really does feel super comfortable, and the Hectare was such a good design, but the blade wasn't for everyone, which that's fine. Like, that's totally cool. It really was meant to make something that had a universal blade, but everyone likes the Warney, and honestly, it really is. I mean, I can't complain too much. This thing has made our company so much money. This has been just like the hot buy for so many people for so long. The Pyrite series, we might as well just rename ourselves Pyrite, but I can't argue too much. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much that. The nice thing about this one is, it's hard to avoid the bug out comparison, obviously, but you can't really make a knife with a flat back and an axis and any sort of finger choils without making it look like a bug out. But yeah, the axis lock crossbar lock, yeah, crossbar lock is nice on this one. I like that we've actually used some slightly more stiff. If you had a chance to handle one of the Hectares or any of the other crossbar locks like the Prado, again bringing that guy back, we've started using some stiffer springs on these than average. So I get a lot of comparisons to Benchmade and comparisons to some of the older, like some of the what's the one SOG uses, the I forget what SOG's version of the crossbar lock is, but a lot of comparisons because we use a much stiffer spring, which allows you to actually snap it. But unlike most Benchmade, you can actually middle finger flick this without a lot of force. You don't have to really, wrist it. It's stiff enough that you get compression behind the lock and you actually get a good snap behind it. Let's give you a shot of the ebony on that guy. It's a nice color. Dude, you should get one. Let's see. Yeah, no, the Pyrite is like a winner. I'm so glad you got one. It is definitely our like big winner. I am very much waiting because the larger Warney Pyrite is coming out soon. We should have those in production sometime soon. We actually, if you had a chance to see some of the videos from the previous shows, the Warney Pyrite we had at SHOT Show was actually a medium Warney Pyrite of all things, because that one was actually about a quarter inch shorter than all the other like large ones. And I'm just sitting there going, hey, team, why did we do this? And they're like, oh, we wanted to match the blade to the handle and make sure it fit correctly. And it's like, no. Just use the same hardware from the original large Pyrite and then just do that because people want that big handle and they want the big blade to go with it. So we have those pretty much just set to go in the line and they'll be coming out soon. Woohoo! Hey! The original protos were so good. They were all so snappy. I actually still have the old, I think the only one that I have left after sending out a bunch of review ones was the black original Pyrite, large Pyrite. and it's still one of my beaters. Like, it's such a good user. The weight's nice on it. I like the steel frame. I think that's one thing that, yeah, there we go. The Pyrite with the steel frame. That was really surprised. That review from Metal Complex about this just feeling right in hand more than having that like conventional super light G10 or anything else. I really was impressed with the steel ones, because the whole thing with this is it's not just about like, the pound for pound. Because if you want pound for pound, there's lots of other knives out there. Speaking of pound per pound, the chip is also out now. So that little tiny fixed blade we had at SHOT Show, that one is available right now. I unfortunately have not unboxed them. They're sitting in my little work area, and I was going to bring them on, and I left them upstairs. I have to go and trek all the way up there to grab one. So unfortunately, it'll be showing up in future streams. But anyway, yeah, for a small, light, something like that, which weighs, barely any ounces. It's so light. Or if you really want to go light, I mean, Bug Out and the PM3 lightweight. But even then, I think the standard Pyrite with the G10 is already super light, but the steel one just feels nice. Which version do you have? Do you have one of the G10 ones, or one of the steel ones, or one of the special ones with tie? Because those ones, I do have any tie ones. The original tie versions were so slick, but we sold all those at Blade Show West, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and someone came by and bought all of them, so they all sold out, and that was pretty much it. And unfortunately, yeah, okay, cool. So at least you know what the weight of this is like. Some people love it, some people don't. Some people say, why is it so heavy? Some people are like, hey, it should be thicker, there should be more blade. Well, it felt really good in the hand, and it really was just kind of that whole thing of like, hey, a knife should feel reliable in hand. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to a locking system, everyone could argue what lock they prefer and what lock is better and what lock is more ideal. But between the button lock, a liner lock, and a frame lock, we know which one's the strongest. It's the frame lock, and a button lock is going to generally be just about as strong as any liner, and probably in most cases about as strong as a frame lock. Just, deployment and style. And we've really, of anything, I think we've dialed in the button locks really well. Ooh, yeah. If you have a chance to get your hands on one of the Echoes, you definitely should. I would suggest check on Amazon, because we often have those for a little discount on our Amazon store. Oh yeah. Let's see. So, there we go. That is the S90 Bowie Pyrite for Wilson. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome to the very small and intimate chat. So yeah, these are actually available right now on the website. This is a flat tie with texture. I am actually really into this guy. I like this slightly more squared off feel. While it doesn't have that nice, like, smooth contouring of the original tie Pyrites, this has a much nicer feel in hand. It feels great in the pocket. It cuts the weight down a bit. Let's see if we can get a bit of that texture on there. Come on, camera, do a thing. There we go. Little diamonds on there, like the face of a club. But this one is an S90. S90 and tie. It weighs so little. It's so comfortable. I love that stock stick clip that we have. As much as I really am kind of tired of seeing these on knives, the thing is that these always work so well. They're so comfy. And it really has like absolutely no hot spot, because if any of y'all have had one of our knives with the rounded clips, look how flat that is to the surface. Look how like smooth that is. Come on. There we go. It's such a smooth round clip. I love the way we've done these, and they really work for so many of the CJRB models. Let's see. Thunder, I'm glad you're enjoying your Pirate, but if you do have a chance to check out an Echo one more time, check out our Amazon. There are several on there. If you ooh, yeah. Again, I think we actually have the tie clips on Amazon as well. I haven't checked our store recently, but we have started putting up a lot more stuff through Amazon. We already work with US warehouses, so we might as well work with the Amazon system. And we do tend to offer little discounts on things. But definitely take a look. And if you see something you like, the nice thing about Amazon is if you find it, you try it, you're not super into it, you could always send it back. We've always been very amicable to that. And that's one benefit of us, doing a lot of our warehousing in the US versus some of our other competitors that, well, don't. It does speed things along really nicely. Let's see, what else do I got to show off? Ooh, right. This one just dropped. I am a huge fan of Dylan's designs. Dylan Mallory, one of our, I think Dylan was our OG designer. Uh, really one of our big, like, Dylan is great. He has been so easy to work with and so fun to work with. He goes to shows with us. Honestly, I've sat and hung out with him plenty of times. We just end up going back to our hotel and just like, all right, team goes to their rooms. Me and Dylan go to our rooms. And we're just sitting there like, you want to chat about knives yet? We just go in, put all the knives he got at the show on the bed. And we're just like, oh my God, these are so cool. Just nerding out about knives the whole time. Also, I really got to say, Dylan's flair for design is so distinctive. And this one in particular, the Ornis was actually one that I was encouraging to work on for several years. I saw his original version of this one. We tried pitching it as a CJRB model get the light better. Yeah. As a CJRB model early on. And I even have the prototype from that one. And it just didn't quite work right. It didn't feel right. And I think everyone kind of agreed. The boss handled it. Dylan handled it. I handled it. We're sitting there going, all right, the action's great. Shape is nice, but it didn't feel good in the hand. And at the end of the day, we ended up scrapping it. And Dylan, just kind of he has a prototype somewhere, but we never really revisited it until recently. And the thing we really changed, I mean, the design has changed dramatically on this. The blade got wider, the profile was different, the hole got, a lot larger. Yeah. We were debating on that. We actually stuck with this kind of just simple inlay, just to have this kind of like flow to it. But I have no doubt if this knife gets popular, there's going to be inlay versions of this because, man, this would look so good. I'm just thinking a little like, ooh, tie Damascus on there. Ooh, I'd be into that. Or even for me personally, I'd love to see this with black micarta because Dylan really does like his black and gray palette. He likes doing like, if you check his website, he still has. Someone's coming in with a raccoon. All right. Hello. Yes, I've seen the meme. But yeah, if you check Dylan's website, he actually has a special edition version of the Centros, and he did a small Centros. If you've seen that knife, that was one of our original 5 CJRB models. And that knife is still one of my favorite models overall. But we tried doing a small one, didn't quite catch on, shall we say. And I'm sitting there going, this is one of the best knives we've made. This is a great addition to the CJRB line. Good ergos, good shape, but it just didn't go. So Dylan decided to run it himself. He funded the project to run this knife and have it made for him under his own brand. And he has a handful of those left. If you happen to like the original Centros or you like Dylan's designs, check out his website because Dylan does some fantastic stuff. And he even has a few of his current models, the Foros. So he did his original Foros, I think 2 or 3 years ago, carbon fiber liners, super lightweight, great blade shape, absolutely fantastic. And then he did the Thai version last year. They started selling at Blade Show. So inlaid fat carbon, really nice finishes. If it's not very plain, we were the factory that made his OEM run, because we made sure he got his project out there. And the new versions are so good. They're so good, but they just didn't quite click, unfortunately. So we still got a couple of them. If you want to check him out, I definitely suggest checking out his website. And I think he might even have a couple of those on sale right now just for a little money off. But if you want to get a Foros, it is a fantastic knife. But anyway, back to the Ornis. So let's put that back in screen there. The Ornis was a design that after that first production run, we just kind of like sat there and said, well, what's going to work on this one? What are we going to change? And it really was kind of let's look at this one again. And they sent me a thing every few months. He'd be like, hey, I worked on this one a bit more. And it really was just kind of a general widening of the handle, increasing of the slope, changing that profile, and the blade shape became a lot more. It's a bit more like a kitchen knife. And honestly, I kind of dig that. But the big kicker here is that when he finally was like, all right, let's go with this one, we put a button lock on here. And I think in particular, I don't think every knife needs a button lock, but this one, because it sits in the hand in a certain way, you get that full grip right there. And it really feels very organic. All the curves are thin. You notice how it's got a very thin, see, there we go, very thin butt end. So it's a trim knife. But I like the way this feels. And even if you're pinching like this, where the button is, you're kind of up here and you're using it more like a kitchen knife. This feels fantastic. And this blade is such a good user. It's such a good slicer. Let's see. Woo. Yeah. Definitely. If you like Laconico stuff, Dylan's stuff is way more kind of like pointy. If that's a really nondescript way to say it, but I always okay. Let me put it this way. And one of the ways I like describing Dylan's stuff is his knives always feel like they have forward momentum. They feel like they're moving because you notice how he does these very thin handles and these very kind of like pointed blades. Even his Warncliffs are, let's see. Kickstarter, the box cutters, the breezes. Those should be coming out very soon. There should be an update coming along the lines. I have not heard directly, but they should be coming out probably before Blade Show. So ideally, they'll be getting finished up this month. So that should be coming to an email very soon. Anyway, back to Dylan stuff. And I wish I had more of his new. Oh, wait. I do have one. Hold on. Wait. We haven't even named this one yet, but we have an unnamed proto for CJRB. And this one, again, you can kind of see that concept of this blade has more forward momentum. This one's a lot more like a comfy EDC, very much like a traditional, single thumb, or this is a double thumb stud. I got kind of the best I can say with this one, I got a bit of a, bit of an early 2000s vibe, just a classic drop point user, comfy handle. The holes are something we may remove because I am just like, holes. Not my favorite, but you know what? I think they work. But I think me and Dylan have both agreed, let's change it up a little bit. But you get a lot of blade on this thing for what you get. And I do like how he makes his knives as just as much blade as you can possibly have. Because when this thing's closed, it's pretty small. It's pretty small. Yeah, the holes are just kind of odd. I think they put them on there just to make it a little bit different. But honestly, I'd rather just see either one large cutout or just keep it solid. The plan is, I believe, is we're going to do something similar to this and put a shield on it, which I'm actually very excited about. This one, it's on bearings, but it does have it actually has a very nice like washery feeling to it because of the studs, but the bearings work really nice on this one because the flick on this one is, if you're doing a front, nice and crisp, but because of the positioning, and this is actually one thing I will attribute very much to Dylan, is Dylan kind of taught us the geometry for thumb studs. And the way he does his is they're always going to be at the specific angle to the pivot. And that makes opening almost everything real easy. It's not always like the detent. It is the geometry. And I am pretty stoked. Every time I handle anything Dylan does that's got thumb studs, it's always on point. It's always perfect. The action is always absolutely fantastic. And it's so good. This thing's so good. It does. And that's the whole thing is like Dylan kind of came in when we were starting out and really came in because I think we only had a handful of knives around that used thumb studs early on. Our first models way back in the day were all flippers, which 2015. I mean, if you were there, you knew. I mean, if you're invested in the knife collecting world, everything was a titanium frame lock flipper, and unfortunately, it still is these days. But you know what? We all gotta get out of that somehow. Dylan got us our first real set of thumb studs, along with the Pinkerton Proponent, which if anyone's got one of those things are monsters. The Frag one sold great. Brazil, hey, what's up? Someone from Brazil. Dang, what time is it over there? But yeah, having like good geometry is such a good one. Okay. Do you have the new Frag one? Do you have the new Thai Frag one? Those were so nice. And I think there are even a few. Ooh, you got the brass one, the OG. That's the knife that made us famous. Oh, man. That thing put us on the map. Like, we were doing just fine with the regular sales of the Artisan products, but nothing hit quite like that full brass Proponent. Like, that had people calling me, asking where they were. When was when were we going to do a restock? No, Smokey they have not requested a restock. I haven't heard from them. In fact, Smokey has not done a lot of requests from us at all in the last 2 years, or even possibly 3 years at this point. As I've heard, they're kind of restructuring their business to do certain things a little bit differently, which good on them. Mr. Pipes is a fantastic guy. I've seen him and had a nice, lovely chats with them plenty of times. And you know what? More power to them. Smoky is an institution. They are a place that I hope we'll see, for years to come. And that I've been to the storefront enough times to know that I am always very happy to see when they're doing what they do. Ooh, man, you should see about getting. You see, you got the mini one and the large one. See about getting one of the full. Oh, actually, check Knife Center. Knife Center did a full blasted version, so no markings, fully blasted, and I believe possibly blasted top. No, it was just blasted, like a matte finish version with no like cutouts on it. It just looks like a brick. It is just a brick with an M390 blade, and it is so slick. I think they might still have them in stock. God, I wish I had a proponent close to me because I don't have anything that's especially like chunky this time. I just pulled out a bunch of the protos, the fun stuff coming up soon. This is the Kami, another Dirk Pinkerton design. Always love working with Dirk. The man is one of the easiest people to work with, and he really knows this stuff. Let's see. If they're gone, that's a shame. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, you might be stuck with the frag ones then. Sorry, man. If I every time I see Smokey, I always say, hey, you got to run some more of the brass and copper ones because those were just pure money. Those things were just 3 days. 3 days from people not knowing our company existed to those knives selling out the first run. And then the second run was gone in like a day. I was just sitting there getting calls from people who are like, oh, do you have more in stock? I'm like, well, you can call Smoky Mountain. And I tell my team, like, oh, we already sent them their next shipment. We like speed ran getting the production out within such a short amount. I think we ended up doing their third run. Ooh. Yeah, the burgundy ones. That burgundy micarta. They did a special request for a burgundy micarta version. And I believe they did a burlap one too. But the burgundy was an interesting one because that's the only time we've used that particular burgundy for anything. That was a special request that they did not want the double coral that we usually use for our red micarta, and they wanted burgundy. That burgundy, while it is very nice, ends up with more of a brown tone color, so it's kind of more like chocolatey. It's really nice stuff, but we've never used it again. It was only for Smoky, and they did a lot of exclusives with us. And at this point, because they have not done a lot more exclusives, we might start running some of the copper. They locked in copper everything, like whatever you made in copper, they did it. And since they haven't done one in a while, we have kind of gone back to saying, hey, Smoky, we're going to start doing some of these on the CJRB line. They locked it in on Artisan, and we're going to make a formal request to them being like, hey, we'd like to have our special edition items back. We want to get the burlap back. We want to get the copper, the brass, the bronze, and potentially the burgundy micarta, but I'm not sure if we're going to be using that one. I believe that one was actually made for us for this run through the U.S. company we use to manufacture our micarta. We actually use two different types of micarta. We have, let's see. I do not have any of our overseas made micarta, but if you look on something like the Echo or the Pyrite with the more bright green micarta, that's overseas made micarta. Cuts the cost down, ensures that people still get that feeling, but it kind of trims the cost to where we can essentially charge maybe just a little bit more than G10, whereas something like this is American-made micarta. I am very happy with this stuff. I'm sure if you own other knives that are in OD green, you recognize this. We'll just say the color is iconic, and it does all come from the same place because the company that makes it is really good. We've worked with them for a long time. They're fantastic. Their production is always on point. They've always been good to us, and they honestly make some of the best micarta in the industry, at least in my opinion. I know there's better stuff out there, but the company we work with, for what we get and the volume we get and the shipping times and how they've gotten to us, they have been fantastic. They are amazing. And so far, everything from them has been bomb. Just absolutely fantastic stuff. And I wish I had more micarta ones on my little bench to show off, but I only brought, honestly, it's more wood than I normally see. So actually, I think this is our second production piece we did with wood. Hey, what's up? Dwayne, how you doing? And Midnight. Midnight. Oh, I have a great excuse. I have a great thing to tell you on that one. So, Midnight. Here we go. So, the reason why we do the silver buttons on everything, and we actually do have a few models that do not have silver buttons. That would actually be in the mini pyrite series. We did some black ones, and we found out why we do them in silver. So here is my take on this one. And it isn't impossible to do these with black finishing. But what it is because if you take apart one of our knives and some of our competitors' knives, you'll notice that there are some distinctive differences in how the build is. We really focus on keeping that column very simple. It is just a column in a recess with a spring. The benefit to that is that there are no additional parts. There's no washers. There's no spacers. There's no like counter springs. There's no little like, we don't have to do any special milling in the handle. It's just recess. One hole is bit, one hole is large, one hole is small. Column goes through. There we go. So the reason why these are still silver is we need to keep these as polished and as clean as possible, because that ensures that nice crisp action that a lot of these knives have. Once you start getting coatings on there, that you'd think it wouldn't mess with the ergos too much, or how the or not the ergos, the mechanics too much, but man, it gets it so sticky. Yeah, no, this one here, Dwayne, this is the S90 Thai Bowie Pyrite. This just came out on the website. This is the dress. It's a sort of like a user dressed up version, but with all the bells and whistles. Or if you want to go with something flashy, we have the rose gold Bowie Pyrite, which I do love, and I'm really hoping at some point we're going to do a version with so a natural micarta and a black blade, and put some lines across it, kind of mimic the classic combat knife. I'd be really happy to see that. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Nico. Nico's here. Yay. If any of y'all know Nico, he is the pocket dump master, the Hobbit dump master. Thank you very much. Nico of Melissa Backwoods channel fame, and shows up in all of our videos, helps me out and keeps me sane at every show. But yeah, no. Hey, Nico, there you go. There's the one I sent you a picture of. Check. I am so into this. Let's see. Tell you what, Midnight, if you are really looking to get a black button, I wonder if we can always. We don't normally send out screw kits. All right. I hate to say buy a certain pirate, but if you happen to buy one of the mini pirates, those have black buttons, and I do believe those are interchangeable between other pieces, but a bit of a stretch to buy two knives to make one black. I've also had people who will just color their buttons or do a little adhesive piece on them. Someone I ran into just put a little bit of grip tape on the just like the tip of his. Great idea. Seems aggressive, but dang, it was a neat touch. Also for Nico, for you who likes the copper, there we go. Let's get the shine. Let's get the texture. There we go. That's the one. Dusty, hey, what's up, man? Hey. Oh man, if we're doing the PVD on that button, that is going to be out. We have to go and grind off the PVD on the actual lock surface. So it's doable. It's doable, but what we had to do was essentially take those black coated buttons and put them on a grinder again by hand to finish them, which is just oh boy. Dusty's another one of our designers. Your proto should be hopefully coming out a little after Blade Show, just FYI. So as long as you're the right Dusty. I'm assuming you are. I don't know how many Dusty Roads there are. But Pro's coming out soon, man. Hopefully we'll get them all done in time, because we have had one heck of a year. But yeah, Copper Pyrite. Also, seriously, again, so many Pyrite alts. I can't argue. These have just been doing so well. So dang well. Oh, man. I don't know why we did the tie clip on here, though. I wish we just took this and did like, just that instead. Just take some of those clips. But, hey, you can always color it yourself. Put some nice color on there. And I'm really hoping we'll do a black hardware version of this guy. Man, I'd be excited about that. And I'm also sorely tempted to swap the blades on these guys. Just see what happens. I don't think I should, but I really want to. Oh, man. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not swapping this one because this is 20 CV, which I am still floored that we are doing 20 CV on this one. Oh yeah. Oh god, no. Billboarding in the pot clips. The early artisans had that, and I'm just like, boss, please, no, don't. Just take it off. Take it off. We don't want to be SOG. Don't do the SOG things. I know, right? I really want to do this with the rose gold and the blade. And yeah, actually, hey, midnight. So notice that this is actually exactly it. And if you look inside here, please don't tell me I'm going to look like a fool. Yeah, notice that section there is silver, and just like the cap of this guy is where the color is. So that's what we've been doing is we essentially have to grind off everything on that one to make sure the lock face is good. But it really is. Ooh, that's actually really nice. We did a really good job on that. Yeah, that actually looks like we might have made a jig for it because originally it was just like someone sitting there with a grinder and just and then you have to make sure that fits again after you take the material off. So then you have to sit there and like hand touch it up. It was a pain in the butt, but we try. It was definitely an issue that came up. Oh, also, for those of y'all who like the button locks, I would like to point out that the Ornis actually has a whole different button lock. And I do not know exactly the details as our machinist does not speak a lot of English and I do not speak a lot of Chinese, but the gist of it I'm getting is one thing, this button is recessed differently. So I'm going to pull back there. We'll just pull this guy up. Notice that this one's got the cutout like that, and this one just has a nice little hole that it fits into, nice little recess. This button, I believe, is actually fully CNC'd so that it does not have those, it doesn't have to be set, you know, really, you don't have to like, you know, touch it up on a grinder or like double check it or QC it as much because we're CNCing them in house. So it does result in very clicky, snappy action. This one, if you can hear it over, let's see, let's put it up to the mic. It's got that really nice, like clinky sound to it. And this just feels so good. But the action on these, if you press it all the way down, you still get that nice, like fall shut action. Just nice, like free moving action. Or in some of the pyrites, if you're really like pressing on the button, it gets a little less swingy. It's a little less, you know, there we go. Yeah. See, that's kind of the problem is if you half press it, it just applies a lot of pressure onto it and doesn't really close all the way. Whereas this guy, please don't make me look like a fool. You press it once and it just, it's down. But it's slick. Yeah. So for midnight, that's the Ornis. Newest Dylan Mallory design just got dropped on the website, I think maybe a week or so ago. This thing is real slick and really just, I think this is one of the most comfortable knives we've done in a while. I, for one, have gone on record as being a huge fan of the Artisan. That is probably one of my favorite knives we've ever made. Yeah, Chris, fantastic designs. But this one, this is coming in real close because I just love the way this thing feels. Also, I am a sucker for a small clip. I do like the profile of that. And for people who are lefties, there you go. It is a one of the few lefty friendly super high ends we have. So it's like it's so nice. It is so nice. Go for it. I'll be here. Browse the store, check the new stuff. We have a lot of new things coming. Oh, that's right. For you all who haven't seen, got the new Waden. This is the new version of it. We have the original full tie one. This one we have in the black and gold flake carbon fiber. And I'm into it. I wish the shield was actually, you know what? I do kind of like the white tie Damascus there. So that's kind of got a little more blue tone to it. I think it has a nice contrast, this gold. We've been trying to get some more of the silver flake carbon fiber that pops up once in a while, but it really pops up. The gold flake is something that we are able to get on a regular basis, and I think it makes us look, you know, a little gaudy, but very, very sexy. Yeah, I know. I really want to see this with studs or even just kind of a thin hole right there. Nick, actually, we were talking about this. If this knife ever became a button lock, or it was something that was a bit more like, you know, if it was a liner lock instead of a frame lock, the studs right there would be just like right there, just book, book, or even a little hole. But I do love how we did this flipper. Let's see. Let's get this a little bit more focused. Come on. There we go. There we go. It's just like on top of my nose. Yeah. So it's got a little bit of an S curve to it. And I think I was watching Metal Complex's video on this, and he's like, it's good, it's bad, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's kind of it's an in-betweener. But what it does is it really does allow you to actually get that top flip way more reliably. Because as you bear into that position right there, there you go. As you get your finger on top of there, it really does make it feel a lot more like a lighter. Like you're actually catching that little hook And as long as you go over and down, it's really easy. Whereas if you have one that's got a constant curve, it's really easy to just kind of over the hump of it. So this little tiny change to the mechanism made it so much easier. And for me, because I don't have anywhere was used to the Shamwari, it's I go right here, and for me that's where it naturally happens. But doing this more, this top flip, I'm not going to be brave enough to do this one because it is a smaller knife, but just the thumb goes on top there, just like you would a lighter, and just straight over. It's really comfy. And this one is actually one with a surprisingly stiff detent. Man, this one is so dang shiny. Yeah. Backspacer right there is actually, let's see if I can get that in the camera. Yeah. The backspacer on this one actually sticks up a little bit. It's actually shaped so that it kind of, there we go, kind of disappears into the butt of this and actually sticks up a hair above the line of the scales, which I think is a nice, like, classy finish. It does add a much more geometric, kind of like, sci-fi-ish thing. And I cannot wait to see someone take this part and anno that backspacer, like give it some real, like, slick color to it. I'd love to see that. Man, if someone did the atropic finish on this one and matched it to the shield and did that whole finish on the back there, did the clip, I'm like, ooh, man, I would be really excited to see that. Yeah, dude, Dusty, come on by the booth. You're absolutely welcome to come over and check things out, man. Like, come over, drop your bag, drop your gear. I would ask who's going to Blade Show. Actually, is anyone else besides Nico and Dusty going to Blade Show? Because Nico, I know you're coming because you're going with us. Yeah, Nico gets the backstage pass. He gets to see me freak out and panic all the time, constantly. Blade Show is going to be fun, but oh boy, it is a real stressor every year. But it's fantastic. We love seeing people, love having a chance to talk. Yeah, dude, you should go, man. I mean, depending where you live in the U.S., it's Atlanta. It's a trek out there. If you happen to be oh yeah, with Nico is our Nico is the Hobbit. He has everything for everyone. Ooh, okay, you're a bit out of the way then, man. You're out of the way from everything. Like, so are you closer to Texas or to Utah? Yeah, are you like, my geography is kicking in? I'm like, oh geez, I don't actually know. It's been a long time. I mean, honestly, man, at this point, with how Blade Show West and Blade Show Texas have been growing, they might get to be almost the size of Blade Show proper sometime soon. Blade Show Texas was massive this year, and it had excellent attendance. A lot of people showed up, and I think a lot of designers regretted not going because it got to be close to Blade Show size. Close. Blade West is always a little bit quieter, but it also comes at kind of an odd time of the year, October. So, October, November-ish. It's always a little odd for people who are making knives because everyone kind of builds product to bring to Blade Show proper. And then Blade Show Texas is kind of before. So if you aren't able to do Blade Show proper, you do Texas. If you're doing Blade West, it's kind of right around the holiday time. So everyone's a little busy. Oh man, Texas this year was just wild. It's been growing so fast. I unfortunately missed Blade Show Texas last year. So Dylan was with us. He had to handle the brunt of the work. I got sick the day before really badly, and I had to be like, hey boss, I hope you're okay with just Dylan, because it's just Dylan this time. But this year at Blade Show, we have ourselves a slightly smaller team than average, but we got Nico, we got Nico's wife, we got Cherry from the main factory, who always does a wonderful job. She's the person you talk to about OEM stuff, and she's great. And then, but Big Boss Man's there. David's gonna be sitting there in his chair, just existing. Love the man. He writes my checks. he loves just watching what goes on in the shows, and I can't blame him. He's just sitting there, just like, yeah. But he loves it. Denver, hey, come on, definitely come out to Blade Show West. If you have a chance to come out, it is a fun show to be at. And the one thing I will say about Blade Show West in particular is that you do get a lot more time to talk with the people who are there. It's just a huge, yeah, sorry, Nico. No Agnes and Sam this year. Team said, hey, we're just going to trim the cost a little bit. It's been an expensive year for us with all the production. So we're just going to cut the surprisingly expensive cost of sending 2 people from China to a show like this. I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, come on, we'll make it up. Yeah, boo. It's all right. Jerry will have fun. But yeah, if you midnight, you can definitely get up to Blade West. Check it out. If you have not been to a Blade show before, it's a great place to start. And it really is just like, ooh, Thunder. Yes, there is actually, but I have not seen one in a while. We do occasional productions of them, but it really was an occasional production. The large ones always sold so well, and the small ones barely sold. Like, it's amazing because everyone asks about them, but they never went anywhere. Um, yeah, we even did like a gold one that looked like a gold bar. It was so nice, and it barely sold. So our data just said make more large ones, and even now, people are looking for them. But at the end of the day, no one buys them when we put them out. We ended up having to sell them out at I think we almost did those at a blowout cost at some point. Last time we did a production batch of them. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, Blade Show does get a little nuts. If you are into the hobby, hold your wallet tightly because it'll feel like there's a vacuum just sucking your money out. It is ruinous. Even for me, I'm there just like, oh, I get to see these knives all the time. I leave my bank account just crying. Nico at least has his wife there to, prevent him from doing anything horrible. But I walked away with a titanium sword last year, so I can't speak about anything. I'm just like, hey, financial decisions? No. Financial questions. Uh, yeah. I got a titanium sword, though. It's pretty great. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Nico, you got one too. Shush. Ooh. Hey, Thunder, what's your local knife show? Because it's always cool to find local ones. Right now, we don't really have the budget to really start doing local shows. But if I ever travel, I'm always like, I'm going to go to a local knife show. Like, that's going to be my thing. If I'm ever around, it's very much that. Yeah. Yeah. Bridget shakes her head, and then it's just like, and he's going to die. And he's going to die later. Bridget's disappointment face is just constantly on display. Love her dearly. Shenandoah Valley. Funny enough, I actually heard of that one. I think I had a friend who went there once in a while. Yeah, if I'm ever in the area, I'll have to stop by. Ooh. Hey. And I have got to get back on some of these active streams. Since I haven't been as active on YouTube and we haven't been doing as many videos, I'm going to be trying to get more active videos and active content out on here, as well as Instagram. It just has been streaming on this platform is a different creature, shall we say, than doing Instagram. What do I have here that I haven't shown yet? I feel like I'm missing something that haven't popped up. Oh, yeah, right. One that no one asked about for a while, but I think is really deserving space. Hi, we finally got the Baskin done. And unfortunately, the joke is very much there with the Carol. People are calling this one Carol, of course. Man, takes you back to 2020. But I'm pretty stoked about this one. Since the original version of this was so big. Yeah, it's a Gavco. Had to call up Mike about this one because we did some changes on it, and I actually didn't even know we were going to put this one into production. But it went out, and it went out real fast, and I'm like, oh, geez, okay, let's call up Mike. But this turned out real good. I'm really stoked about this because the original one was like huge. It was a big knife. But the original Baskin was supposed to be a 3-inch knife. And the way this turned out after the changes, this is actually surprisingly thin. And the action on this is just so good. Oh my God, it feels so nice. And of course, there's that full choil there if you really want to get up there. Hey. True. I try to swing in when I can, but honestly, since my workday kind of starts around 6, well, my workday starts at 10 and then it goes until 6, and I start again with the Chinese team around 6. It's always a little hard to take time to swing into the chats, but I always try to stop by Big Reds when I can. And if I ever see Mike Elmer do one, I try to swing in, but it's always kind of like, if I make it, I can. But yeah. Anyway, Gavco. Yeah. If you see the Baskin, if you get a chance to handle the Baskin, this thing is wild. And yeah, the grind is absolutely nuts. Like, I do not know what to call this one. I know the Metal Complex joke is there, the listing of all the things. I really am just like, it's recurve, Tonto, Sponto, Spade, Clip, recurve, Tonto, Sponto, Spade, Swedged, Oh god, I don't even know. Yeah, it's a Gavco. It's just Gavco. But this thing also cuts really well. Like I'm surprised because I was taking this in some boxes and it really is just zipping through packages. But Tonto Run, yeah, Rhino horn, perfect. Yeah, it's got the little like the eye hole. Although I will say, the thing I really like about this one, I love his clips. The Gavco clips are so good. The paddle clips for me are just like peak easy effective carry. It's just it carries so nicely. And this one is just a shrunk down version of the one we put on the Great White, but it's so nice. It's such an easy knife to carry because this slips so comfortably in the pocket. That paddle keeps things nice and tight. The milled bent style keeps it. It's not like a super deep carry, but there's always just enough to grab onto. And I like that we kept it simple. It screws on the outside, not blind screwed. It is simple. It's done well. And I'm honestly pretty stoked about this one. We haven't done something with him in a while. The Great White was unfortunately a not a commercial success, but it developed a bit of a cult following, shall we say. But this one, we'll see. I'm excited for this one to come out. So yeah, that is the Baskin. That one's available now as well. And I'm just like, is there, what else do I have here that I haven't shown off yet? Other than some of the protos. Oh yeah, the Revel's coming out soon. Should have this guy coming out a little bit after Blade Show, but for y'all who like Laconicos, I mean, I'm a fan. I have the custom, and I'm still huge fan of the Revel. Honestly, one of my favorite designs he's done. I am so stoked that we got to do this one. I'm also a little. I'm just like, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a good user. It's such a good knife. Kept it nice and thin. Man, this thing is just. It's like a laser. This thing is so thin. Yeah, we might be doing a blacked out version of this one. I know that we are actually going to be doing a dark tie handle on the original one. So the first production version we're doing, or the first production run, we're doing a darkened tie handle. So we are getting this kind of like a deep gray with a blasted blade. And I'm very excited to see that. I'm trying to make sure we also blast all the hardware and all the screws and just give it this, like, it's very much a Ray style knife. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, the dark tie one was the one Ray snapped up. He's like, I want that one. I'm like, you got it, man. Whatever you want. I'm just like, oh, I wanted to hold on to that one. But the Rebel is still one of my favorite Laconico designs, and I am so happy I got it. I had to beg and plead Ray to get this one. Had to do a little bit of convincing and buying the man several meals to get this one as a collaboration. And I'm just like, yes. It's so good. It is such a good design. It's so good in hand. It's so comfy. It's thin. It's light. It's easy. Oh, yes, it is contoured. It's got a very light bit of contouring to it. Same with the clip. Just a little bit of contouring. Thin, but very comfortable. Yeah, good old, just that really high clip point. Like, it's like it took the tip of a combat knife off. It is just super sexy. And then, because we're running it almost into the hour mark here, let's pull out one more that I haven't shown off. Coming down the road a bit later, we have the Prime. That would be Jonathan Shaw's newest design. Also, Jonathan's going to be at Blade Show. He's going to be hanging out at the booth for a little bit, but knowing Jonathan, he's going to be spending his time enjoying the show, which is fine by us. He can put his gear there. Anyway, the Prime turned out really good too. I do love the milling on this guy. If you see this, it's got this concentric, kind of like this more ripple pattern milling, and a very functional blade. Like it really is, like, it's small, but it works. Yeah, the Centauri, the OG Ray Laconico knife we got. That was I was so happy that I got to sit down and chat with Ray about that. Man, that knife, it's so good, but it hit at such a terrible time. 2020. It's like, ooh dear. The market was not doing great at that time, but it really did well. Hey, yeah. Jonathan's gonna be only here for 2 days. He's Canadian. He's got to get back to doing his military business. He is doing all that. I can't believe, just immediately like turns 18, goes right to the military, and he's still doing designs, which we can always appreciate about this guy. But man, yeah, this thing is also glad to see you got one of the Centauris. Those are so good. They do feel a little dated right now, considering what Ray's been putting out, but really just like Yeah, that knife was so good. I almost wish we did one with a hole, but it wouldn't be the same knife. The style of that one is so particular. Just like a lot of things Ray does. Like the Echo is the same way. The Echo, we could make a large Echo. We might even make a large Echo. But the Echo itself was meant to be that 3-inch EDC knife, and it does it perfectly. Midnight, thank you for stopping by, man. And hell yeah, man. Great to see you. Great. Thank you for stopping by. And check out the site if you have a chance to see some cool stuff. Yeah, dude. Thank you again for stopping by. This has been a whole experiment in trying things out. Anyway, that is the Prime. That should be coming out. I think we should be having this come out in 2 or 3 months. We're getting close to that. I am coming to the 1 hour mark, so I actually need to get moving myself. We are going to be ending the stream around now with all y'all lovely gentle people being in here. Just a reminder, if y'all want to go on the website and find something cool, go on the copper ones. Go on the copper ones. These are website exclusives, as well as the Thai Bowie Pyrite. They are exclusive for now. I got a feeling we're gonna have some companies want to buy them, and we've never turned away Blade HQ, Knife Center, or White Mountain from saying, "Hey, I want some of those," and we're like, "Sure, you got it." Exclusives, not anymore. Excellent, y'all. Thank you so much for stopping, Nico. Traffic happens. You're in a place that traffic is awful. I can't blame you. But again, thank you everyone for stopping by the live stream. We're going to try doing more of these in the future. We might move back to Instagram depending on the format and how this works out. But y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for supporting our company. Thank you for supporting Artisan and CJRB. You guys have a good evening. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll see you next time. Bye.